No, I have always been a brand loyal, whichever organization I have worked, and particularly Coke and Pepsico has been like this, that when I was working with Coke, the entire thing at my home and even my nearest relatives, my extended relatives, all of them also had switched to Coke products only, completely. That's the kind of loyalty, that's the kind of affinity what you used to have.
Kuch bhi, sir. Literally.
And it had to be stacking of only Coke. And there used to be, literally there used to be a discussion points over the dinner table when you will say, why the hell this bottle is there? It is not supposed to be there at all. And you actually had to take it out, push it away and force the person who has brought it in to change it with the Coke product. We actually did it. We actually did it. And sea change completely, diagonally opposite when I moved to Pepsico, because now the fridge is stocked with only Pepsico products. It's so funny and amazing, and they were talking about it and they were laughing at me. 5 साल पहले तुम आए थे.
All right, hi everyone, welcome on board. यार बिजनेस स्कूल तक तो लाइफ बहुत अमेजिंग होती है, सब कुछ सेट होता है, प्लेसमेंट के लिए आपके सीनियर्स आ जाते हैं, प्लेसमेंट कमेटी होती है, नौकरी लग जाती है अगर सीजन सही हो. अभी सीजन ओके चल रहा है. बट हाउ टू लिव लाइफ आफ्टर अ बिजनेस स्कूल, ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर मुझे भी नहीं पता था. टुडे आई एम गोना मेक यू एन IFT alumni. विशाल सर, हाय सर, वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड.
Hi, thank you.
Sir is a graduate out of IFT. उसके पहले undergraduate में gold medalist. Then he's lived his life in what all brands you swear by. You drink Pepsi, Dabur का real juices, or Coca-Cola of the world. You drink or you don't drink, but yeah, that's the question. I'm a big fan of Coke. Still, I know it's unhealthy, sir.
I won't say that.
You won't say that. So, sir, now let's talk about two iconic brands, Pepsi versus Coke. आपने दोनों कंपनीज में काम किया है, दोनों की राइवलरी बड़ी वाली हम लोगों ने तो बचपन में टीवी में देखी हुई है. दे मेकिंग फन ऑफ ईच अदर, लाइक वो क्या है, सर्फ वर्सेस PNG वर्सेस HUL चलता है, पेप्सी वर्सेस कोक. एंड इनको भी पता नहीं होगा, बट इट वाज ऑन द टीवी. ये एक एड बना रहा है तो उसका फन कर रहा है. इनफैक्ट आई रिमेंबर सचिन तेंदुलकर का एड का फन वाज डन बाय शाहरुख खान, राइट, बाय पेप्सी और थम्स अप. आई रिमेंबर लॉन्ग बैक. बट एनी विच वेज, दैट्स अ लॉन्ग स्टोरी शॉर्ट. आप बताइए सर, हाउ वाज योर लाइफ? कितने साल in पेप्सी, कितने साल in कोक? How these brands are different? Let's hear from you.
So it was about close to 3.5, 4 years with Coke. I worked in Kanpur and upcountry areas for Coke, and then of course in Delhi also. So half of time was there. Very different kind of markets. Of course, it is more urbanish in nature when you come into Delhi, and then the way the distribution happens is completely different in Delhi than what it happens in rural areas, like not so rural, but it is still rural in comparison to Delhi. You know?
Yeah, of course.
So we have the fine dine restaurants, what you have probably in Delhi, which you will not have there in Kanpur.
Kanpur,
or in the upcountry areas.
Yeah.
You have the QSRs which are there and the key accounts which are there. All that exposure comes here in Delhi. Which you will not have.
QSRs in benefit.
Quick service restaurants.
Yeah.
Quick service restaurants are typically like your Pizza Huts and Domino's and
McDonald's,
McD's and so on. Various kinds of.
Right.
It could be national chains, regional chains, and so on. So all of that, Vanco, all of that. So these kind of experiences you get. You have a direct distribution, you have an indirect distribution. So all of that also you get to see a lot when you are having this. Market share wise, Coke is supreme.
Everything.
It's reigning supreme.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. In the CSD segment, they are doing amazingly well. Carbonated soft drinks.
Carbonated soft drinks, yeah.
Yeah. So in that segment, they're reigning supreme. Today also, I have not seen the market share numbers as closely as I used to see that point in time, but I think comfortably they would be 63-65% very easily.
True.
So 63-65% is the kind of market share what they would have. Today also it is done by AC Nielsen, and so is Pepsico. So Pepsico definitely has basically built the portfolio very differently when it comes to going beyond the CSD, because they realize that I don't want to play only in CSD like what Coke is doing. So strategically, PepsiCo works in a little different way than how Coke works.
Pepsi के लिए वो Pepsi एक product है, right sir, among the whole set of Lays and the whole Frito company, right?
They participate in 3 categories, as you know, right? So one is your the CSD segment, which is the beverage segment. But within the beverage, they have a juices also, which is a nutrition category, and then the sports drinks category also with Gatorade.
Gatorade, yeah.
That is there. And then there is your Frito-Lay organization which deals into two categories, which is Western salties, the chips, Lays, and all of that.
Yeah.
And then there is a namkeen segment also, which is the Leher namkeens and the Kurkure namkeens of the world.
Got it.
Right? So those categories are also there. So that is a different way in which they want to run the business. And then there was a power of one which came and they wanted to go to the outlet and do the GTM strategy through the entire portfolio going to the outlet. And then you become too big.
Pepsi उठाएगा, साथ में chips उठाएगा, और अगर juice पीना तो हमारे पिएगा.
So it creates a bit of a difference, you know, for reaching out in the market. So it makes it very, very exciting.
Club करके some distributor discounts could have also happen. तीनों लोगे तो कुछ फायदा होगा नहीं?
No, those kind of bundle deals, what you call it.
Yeah.
Those bundle deals normally would be there sometimes, may not be there sometimes also. But at the same time, what is important is that it is always very occasion-led marketing, what you do. There's a consumption occasion which is there, and you always will see the ads, and I think it's there for both.
Coke now.
Coke and Pepsico.
Oh, even
both.
Pepsi, अच्छा.
Yeah. Coke was always more prominent towards it. Diwali के around देखो, घर में खुशियाँ वाला campaign.
Correct.
Right? Where you're talking about the diyas and entire ambience of Diwali celebration.
बिल्कुल सही.
And you're celebrating and getting the joy out of it, of the family together with Coke. Occasion-led marketing. It's a very occasion-specific. And then you go into different campaigns which PepsiCo would have. So those would be like typically, you know, डर के आगे जीत है. Different
Mountain Dew
context, Mountain Dew, or the new campaign today which has come, they're pushing the envelope a little further for Mountain Dew, and they are saying डर हो गया, अब डर को challenge कौन करेगा? So they have taken to a different level altogether. Now that's a very different way of marketing, you know. So imagine you have already conquered that fear with Mountain Dew, but now you want to take the positioning to a notch level higher. Wow. So how do you build it? अब डर को challenge कौन करेगा? तो उस पे ले जाओ. So it's a different ball game altogether, and that's really paying off really well. They started last year only, and I was just watching it from the outer as a spectator now, because I'm not in PepsiCo. But then you see the excitement still continues, and that's what these brands are all about. That is why you have so much of affinity with these brands.
Coming to affinity, sir, ये प्यार कैसे हुआ आपको? And प्यार कितना हुआ? When you were in Coke, you spent 3.5-4 years.
Yes.
In Coke, and then you moved to Pepsi.
Yes.
Pepsi was around 4 to 5 years.
It was 5 years.
Yeah, तो 3-4 साल यहाँ, 4-5 साल यहाँ, टोटल मिला के nearly decade के आसपास आपने ये इसके अंदर spend किए. Beverages segment.
Yes.
Carbonated beverages. Yes. Dabur के अंदर आपने और time spend. Leave Dabur right now. We'll come to Dabur in a minute. तो how was it your behavior changed, or how was it when it comes to consumption of Coke yourself? ऐसे तो नहीं था कि आप कोक है तो आपकी जैसे वो शाहरुख खान और टाटा स्काई है ब्रांड एम्बेसडर घर में डिश टीवी लगा हुआ था तो लोगों ने हल्ला कर दिया था. और वाज इट यू लाइक ब्रांड लॉयल? हाउ वाज इट विद योर एंड?
No, I have always been a brand loyal, whichever organization I have worked, and particularly Coke and PepsiCo has been like this, that when I was working with Coke, the entire thing at my home and even my nearest relatives, my extended relatives, all of them also had switched to Coke products only, completely. That's the kind of loyalty, that's the kind of affinity what you used to have.
कुछ भी sir, literally.
And it had to be stacking of only Coke. And there used to be, literally there used to be a discussion points over the dinner table when you will say, why the hell this bottle is there? It is not supposed to be there at all. And you actually had to take it out, push it away, and force the person who has brought it in to change it with the Coke product. We actually did it. We actually did it. And sea change completely, diagonally opposite when I moved to PepsiCo, because now the fridge is stocked with only PepsiCo products. It's so funny and amazing, and they were talking about it and they were laughing at me. अरे 5 साल पहले तुम आए थे कोक की बात कर रहे थे, only Coke has to be there. Now suddenly everything has changed, it is only PepsiCo. Yeah, it is, because I am working with PepsiCo now.
But what about the taste? I mean, Coke has a different taste. I'm sure
a different taste.
Your wife back then, or maybe your mom would be like what the hell यार, वो ये ज़्यादा मीठी पसंद है, मीठी पसंद नहीं है, and you're making them change, like, and they're like okay with this.
They were okay. They didn't have an option actually, if you really ask me, because that discussion never came out whether you like this or not. Because my mom was always a big fan of Limca, actually speaking.
Oh, Punjabi mom.
Because she liked Limca a lot, and she used to love drinking Limca. But Limca करने के बाद में फिर वो हमारे पास में उसका तोड़ हमने निकाला था पेप्सिको में नींबूज.
Yeah.
तो नींबूज with the deadly combination of nimbus and a bit of a salt in it, it is actually better than Limca. So I made her drink it once, and after that she didn't go back to Limca.
No carbonated, no gases, just to wow, yeah. Sir, I just go back to the memory line. So I was in FMS Delhi for a competition. So there was a competition on surrogate marketing, and this was by Smirnoff. Surrogate marketing for benefit of everyone. These some brands or some products you cannot openly market, so you to surrogate
because
the
of
product.
ethical marketing.
Ethical
you
marketing.
cannot move there.
Cigarettes, etc. You can't do that. It's Smirnoff cassettes and CDs. So this is way back in 2007, 2008 when even I think LMN and Nimbus was just like on the cards. I think it was still not on. 2007 it came in, maybe.
Little early than that.
It was there?
Little early.
Little early then? Okay, great. But it was not all over the place. So we gave the idea to Smirnoff. Like Smirnoff goes very well with lemon drinks always.
Yes.
Like a lemonade or any kind of, like now Sprite.
Clear lime actually.
Clear lime.
Not cloudy lemon, because Smirnoff goes very well with clear lime segment.
Yeah, okay, great.
So Sprite and 7-Up.
So it was a no-brainer for Smirnoff to launch their own thing because it's like
Absolutely.
surrogate marketing. That was our idea. We presented the idea in FMS. We got first prize, Talia Baji, बहुत amazing.
Okay.
Smirnoff guys were very happy. We're going to launch this idea, etc. We're going to call you to our Bangalore office. ये वो कुछ नहीं हुआ, हमें बस prize मिला. But I gave them this idea. But आज तक there is nothing on Smirnoff. They should be doing it.
Yeah.
But that was my stint was beverage segment. It was just a presentation what we did. But nevertheless, coming back, हमने ad campaign भी बनाया था.
Yeah, this is fantastic. It is really amazing because that is how they normally have been working out even today.
Sir, we did an ad campaign. It's slightly naughty, but I can explain. We are all adults here. So there was a girl who was sitting, and that's her back. It was on the beach. It was a close-up. There was a lemon, which will rotate down her back.
Okay.
And it'll go here, and slowly the camera will come out, and the lemon will keep rolling in between the camera. Smirnoff keeps it rolling.
Ah.
That was the campaign which I thought. Nevertheless, Smirnoff lemonade keeps you rolling. You keep drinking. And then which way, that was the whole thing. कुछ हुआ नहीं उसका but. Nevertheless, ठीक है सर इनका ecosystem अलग था क्या? Coke वालों का ecosystem अलग है. Of course, बोतल बेचनी है. In other language, I'm going to come to that. It's a sweet sugar poison. What people say.
I wouldn't call it as a poison at all. I have worked in both the companies. I have huge respect for them.
बोल तो रहे हैं
No,
sir.
it's not a poison.
Sugar तो है sir.
Sugar is there. I mean, excess of anything is bad. Yeah. I mean, people are lactose tolerant. Doesn't make the milk bad, right?
Coke had been under trouble. Coke, McDonald's combination means US.
Junk food, too much of everything is bad.
Coke junk नहीं sir.
I'm giving you an example. People are lactose intolerant.
Correct.
Right? Does it make milk bad?
No.
No, right? That's how it is.
But unhealthy तो है.
Yeah, it is. If you take in excess quantities, then obviously, I mean, in a day, if you're drinking some 16, 17 bottles of Coke, obviously it is going to be bad for you. So you shouldn't be taking that much. But that is always a moderated view of consumption. I mean, I remember my first day when I was, when I joined the market at Coke and I went along with my route, the auto guy, I was working the market. That day I had 17 bottles of Coke in one day.
You alone?
I alone had 17 bottles. नए ASM साहब आए हैं, बोतल ठंडा तो दीजिए उन्हें. I mean, that is really insane. I mean, but I couldn't say no to it. But is it bad? Yes, 17 bottles in a day is bad, right? I mean, who doesn't know that?
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
It's
But today, you know, one thing more is there, Rahul, that see, there are options which are opening up today, and companies are very, very aggressively moving towards adoption. So stevia is one thing, which is a plant extract. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
this.
of course, yeah.
So stevia is a very strong substitute of sugar. It doesn't have calories. It's a plant extract. And people are moving from aspartame and sugar to stevia. 0 calories. Works the best.
Sir, what's with the 0 calorie thing and Coke Light thing? I do Coke Light, by the way. Just or 0.
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Coke
yeah.
0.
Yeah. I like Diet Coke's taste a little bit more than the other one. But now they've done a great job in like comparing the taste as well. But Coke Standard is like Coke Standard, of course. I feel like drinking after talking so much. And there's a taste that bubble when it's, you know, burst on your lips. कुछ तो है उसका अलग ही चीज़ है. So what's with the diet thing? What's with the Diet Coke and Coke Zero? मतलब, are they really, are they healthy?
Well, diet basically comes with another substitute of sugar, which is called aspartame. That's what sugar-free is all about, right? So you have that. As per the WHO standards, US FDA standards, moderated consumption of that is good. But if you again go beyond that, it is not good for health.
Even the Coke Diet Zero,
Diet zero,
Coke
because it is aspartame. It is not the Coke diet which is a problem.
Okay.
It's the ingredient which you are putting inside is the problem.
Okay, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Same is the case with the regular Coke also, right? Sugar. अब चम्मच भर भर के शुगर खाते जाओगे, कोक नहीं भी पी रहे हो, तब भी डायबिटीज तो होने ही वाली है ना भाई. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि वो नहीं होने वाली. Right. So the same is the case with sugar free everything else also. This is what companies have done research to moving from even sugar frees of the world, which is aspartame based, to stevia, to make it more healthy and a responsible drink.
Got it. But sir, do you see the revenues going down for Coca-Cola?
No, not at all. Not at all.
पर वो रोनाल्डो पर बोतल रखी है तो उठा के नीचे रख देते हैं.
Oh, that was one of case
One
which
of
was
case.
there. Yeah. I mean, those
Became
kind
one
of
of the stock
things.
dropped like
Yeah,
Coca-Cola.
it went. But then you still know that Coke is a much bigger brand. And I mean, again, nobody can take away the fact that it's still iconic.
Warren Buffett says, like, people ask him, like, which company would you like to invest? तो सामने बोतल रखता है.
हाँ.
ये अगला 100 साल तो लोग पिएंगे भाई. I'm going to invest in this sugar water, whatever the
He's
people.
one of the early investors and he has made tons of money.
Billions of money.
He has made tons of money. Pepsico, you keep talking about it that the market share is lesser
Yeah.
in the carbonated segment,
Yeah.
right? But imagine what Indra Nooyi has done. What she did is expand the portfolio, and that is a complementary portfolio, because what goes well with the snack? The cold drink. And why not to have a healthy snacking along with you when you have a cold drink? So she the portfolio nutrition category into traditionals, kurkure, namkeens of the world and western salties and all of that. So multiple you came with, right? So the purpose of the entire organization when Indra Nooyi came changed completely. And that is, I think, one of the big reasons, like you were asking me earlier, I love Pepsico more than Coke today.
Really?
Yeah, I love Pepsico more because of this sheer purpose which is there. I love this brand. I love what they do.
It's beyond bottled water.
It is beyond bottled water.
Wow.
Multiple categories they are in.
Which is bigger as per the revenue of check.
It would still be Coke probably if you see in the segment wise, but otherwise I think
Revenue wise?
in India Coke is bigger.
In India, Coke is bigger. Sir, great. This is a good learning. तो आपने घर पे लाल फ्रिज से नीला फ्रिज किया, वो सब किया. People are following you. That's great. And then Dabur happened before that. Dabur आप कर चुके थे ना?
Yeah. Dabur happened much before that.
Yeah. We're going to come to Dabur. We're going to learn lessons from Dabur right now. बताइए सर, एक्सप्लेन करिए मैं FMCG क्या है from Dabur perspective. अभी आपने कोक पेप्सी ज्वाइन नहीं किया, वी गोना टेक यू बैक, ठीक है? तो आपकी कोक पेप्सी वाली लर्निंग हम नहीं सुनेंगे, हम सुनेंगे आपकी FMCG लर्निंग. जो लोग अपना करियर सोच रहे हैं कि आई वुड गेट इनटू PNGs, HUL, Marico's of the world. Anisha, a good friend of mine, a colleague, was in Marico before. I've got many friends in HUL, ITC, selling cigarettes to selling tobaccos to selling Sunfish biscuit in ITC to HUL. In fact, I was in Kolkata for a wedding. These all guys, MBAs were all together. We're discussing life, what they're doing in the trucks. The first day you enter HUL, you are sitting in the truck. One of my friends is in Nestle or Maggie. So she was in Kolkata, in fact. तो उसको कोलकाता में ट्रक में बिठा के being a girl पहले 2 साल जाना है और देख के आना है. She told me like दादा सो रहे हैं दोपहर को, the office in Kolkata like off.
Yeah, they don't entertain you.
They don't entertain you. Sir, वो story बताइए. How was life at Dabur? And also advice for these people who are planning to join FMCG.
See, when I was in my MBA and I sat for this interview, this happened to be the second or third company on day zero. The first 3 companies, Dabur was there. The only trigger which was there at the back of my mind was Dabur is a homegrown multinational, and if you want to learn branding, how truly they have struggled and come this far as a brand. This is one classic example of it. Apart from the other iconic brands of India, which are India grown, like ITC, definitely, huge respect for them. And so is Marico. Right? So Dabur is another name which is there. And Dabur, for me, was always about learning the brand and understanding it. Honestly, 2 साल MBA करने के बाद ना real brand के बारे में समझ में आता नहीं है वैसे.
Real brand as in like
The real, how do you do brand building? That doesn't come from reading the textbooks and the Kotlers of the
case
world.
studies, yeah.
It doesn't come from there. It comes when you work in these iconic organizations like Dabur. Because Dabur में ना वो राहुल एक वो कहते हैं ना वो जद्दोजहद बहुत ज़्यादा है.
अच्छा.
वो ब्रांड बिल्डिंग के लिए ना जद्दोजहद बहुत ज़्यादा है Dabur में.
In the whole company.
उस टाइम पे. Because they were the fighters. They were challenging various categories. Now imagine a Manjan. Imagine a Dabur red toothpaste which is challenging Colgate Palmolive, which is the world leader. Fight करना पड़ेगा नहीं करना पड़ेगा? You will have to fight a lot because India at that point in time when you're talking about 2001 and I passed out, यार बिहार यूपी झारखंड में तो पेस्ट नहीं करते थे लोग.
नहीं था ही नहीं.
मंजन
और इवन
मुश्किल से होता था, दातुन ही होती थी अगर करते थे लोग. राइट. At that point in time, when you're talking about creating a brand and taking brands like Colgate Palmolive heads on, यार वो brand building की जद्दोजहद जो है ना वो वहाँ से समझ में आती है. When you go in the market and you touch those consumer and the audience and the retailers or wholesalers there in the deep pockets of Mughal Sarai is when you figure out अरे यार यहाँ पे brand का problem है. And that is where you have to really work and what you need to do to ensure that the brand reaches there. How do you build the brand? How do you create that kind of a awareness about your brand? What you should do, how you should activate it, what kind of interception points you should create for your consumer when they are coming and speaking with you. True. It's a huge learning ground. So the only thing what I have for the audience would be FMG सीखना है ना, challenger brands में join करो पहले तो.
Challengers brand, अच्छा.
Challenger brands. Dabur was a challenger brand that time. Colgate Palmolive को challenge कर रहा है.
आई रिमेंबर सर रात को 9 बजे ऐड आती थी, एंटी डाबर था वो. सो वो उसके अंदर वो जो सीता थी ना, वो उसमें नाम भूल गया, जो सीता माता बनी थी इन द रामायण, शी वाज देयर एंड
रूपा गांगुली आई थिंक.
दैट्स द नेम, आई डोंट नो.
दैट इज द नेम.
उसके अंदर एक लड़का ब्रश कर रहा होता है कोयले से. सो
नो आई डोंट थिंक सो शी वाज देयर, somebody else was there.
तो मतलब कोई ऐड थी, इट वाज लाइक 9 PM ऐड. तो वो ऐसे करके वो कर रहा होता है.
आई नो.
रिमेंबर दैट ऐड? वो घुमा रहा होता है. 9 PM ऐड, रोज रात को 9 बजे ऐड, मतलब द मोस्ट एक्सपेंसिव ऐड एट दैट टाइम, प्राइम टाइम. देयर वाज द प्राइम टाइम. दांतों के लिए इतना कुछ नहीं, बदन के लिए इतना कुछ और दांतों के लिए कोयला. तो फिर वो ऐड आती थी कि भाई ये सब छोड़ो और ये रगड़ना छोड़ो एंड देन यू यूज. आई डोंट नो, इट वाज कोलगेट पामोलिव ऐड ओनली. तो ये ब्रश लगा रहे हैं और एक्सेट्रा लगा रहे हैं. एंड नाउ द ब्रांड इज फूलिंग यू अगेन और दोबारा बोल रहे हैं कि कोलगेट के अंदर कोयला डाल के 20 साल बाद दोबारा बेच रहे हैं. एंड नाउ द ऐड इज अरे कोयला लगाओ, कोयला के अंदर एक्टिव का. तो हम जस्ट थिंकिंग ये तो सर ये धोखा नहीं है.
Blame it on the research. The new research tells you this works well, which earlier was being told probably by Vedas and nobody believed. And now research is telling the same thing Ayurveda gurus were telling you, and you are going back again because now you believe it because it is coming from a multinational and there is a research behind it.
पहले भी मल्टीनेशनल थी सर, बट सही ये बात तो सही. कोयला आपके दांतों को
रिसर्च नहीं था ना, बैकअप रिसर्च का था नहीं.
बैकअप रिसर्च.
Now you have a research backup which is there, and being a multinational, you would refrain from agreeing to Ayurveda gurus ने ठीक बोला होगा.
Of course.
There is a problem there. So now you are easily able to do it.
And overall English.
But yeah, it's a bit of a dichotomy here, no?
Same brand, 25 साल में. Yeah. So of course when you go to an Ayurvedic doctor and allopathic वाला बोलता है उसको बोलो मैं आयुर्वेदिक में क्या खाऊं, तो वो बोलता है मुझे समझ नहीं आता ये सब. He always say that English medicine वालों को आयुर्वेदिक वो मैं गाइड कर नहीं सकता आपको. He'll not even tell you like eat healthy आपकी मर्जी, पर मुझे नहीं समझ आता. If you got a basic stomach whatever.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, sir, I think we're really enjoying it, but we're going to come towards the end of the podcast. मुझे बड़ा मज़ा आ रहा है. अभी let's talk about a little bit about life journey, sir. Corporate आपने ज़िंदगी जी है, बेस्ट ऑफ द ब्रांड्स, आप रोल मॉडल हैं जो आप ज़िंदगी के फैग एंड तो नहीं बोलूँगा, एट हाई एंड में अभी हैं, आगे भी चलते जाएंगे, बट ये ज़िंदगी अभी शुरू कर रहे हैं. इनके लिए कुछ लाइफ लेसन बताइए. मे बी वन बेस्ट थिंग विच वांट टेल देम, यार ये गलती मत करना या ये पक्का करना, सिर्फ एक बात. फिर मैं इसके ऊपर एक फॉलोअप क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा आपको.
Okay. See, one, I will talk to you. I'll take the liberty of taking two things out
Okay.
of this question. Okay, and I think it's going to be very pertinent for our audience. See, one is personally speaking, what I felt is जब हम college में होते हैं ना, MBA कर रहे होते हैं, a lot of competitive spirit which is there. You're always very very competitive. You're thinking, थोड़ा मैं हट के क्या करूं बाकी from my peers,
IFT,
so
no?
that I am able to.
We're referring to the MBA days.
We are referring to the
Okay,
MBA days.
great.
Right? So that competitive spirit is there, and you are trying to do something which is very, very phenomenal, and you don't want to share it because you want to be very secretive. Secretive is what because you want to make it big for yourself and then anybody else. At the same time, at the back of your mind, it is always there that, Arey, I want to be in the top 5 percentile of my batch, right? And then you start thinking that I should. That competitive spirit forces you to run after money also. Because what is the barometer there? The barometer is, अरे यार मेरे बैच में वो जो था वो ऑलरेडी X LPA पर ईयर में चला गया है, and now I want to be somewhere around that and I am lagging behind. So there is a competitiveness which is there. The biggest issue is that you should never be looking at that kind of a comparison with any of your batchmates. It is the biggest blunder you can do in your entire career if you keep on comparing yourself and killing yourself by comparing yourself with somebody. See, your journey is very different. Keep your journey unique. Stay unique. Your learning curve is very different. Their organizations are different. Your organization is different. You are going to make your mark by going into something which is completely yours. And that brings me to the next point. There are very often when I interact with the students, they come and say, "Sir, क्या होता है ना वो first year when you have done your MBA and you have completed 1 year in your new organization, you always at the crossroads that मैं अब अगली organization में कब जाऊँ? What is that tipping point where I should now make a decision whether I should switch or whether I should not? What should I do?"
Correct.
Right? I think rather than looking at that comparison that who is in the top 5 percentile, you should focus on these three things which are there, which forces you and tells you that this is the right time for you to switch or not to switch. What are those three things? The first thing is, I think it is always about having a great learning from wherever you are working. If the learning is perfect and you are always getting that delta in your learning, the delta principle is there. So delta principle is very important in your learning. मेरे को रोज एक delta मिल रहा है learning में, I should stick on, stay there. Second, are you having fun at your job or not? Are you enjoying or not? That's about fun. That fun is very important. If it is so monotonous and you're not liking it, maybe you should switch then. And the third most important thing is, which is important also, is your career aspiration in line with what the company is thinking for you down the line? If they have a plan for you already and you're doing great in the organization, 1 year here and there doesn't really matter, as long as the bigger picture is intact. Don't show your impatience. Don't run around. You will be beating yourself too much. At the end result will be that you may not be able to achieve what you had set out for yourself.
What you wanted.
So career aspiration should be in line with what the company is thinking for you. Brilliant. I think those are the three things which, that's a good litmus test, I would say.
Very nice, very nice. Boys and girls, hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. If yes, do it in the like button. और तुम मुझे बताओ यार, what is the career path is the best? पहले startup join करें कि एक बड़ी कंपनी मौका मिले तो उनके साथ join करना चाहिए, या people watching this video inside the B schools, आप भी मुझे बताओ यार, तुमने क्या लाइफ के अंदर किया, what worked for you? That's going to be great help. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Humble to have you on board.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Take care. Bye bye.